All right, what do we got? We got an evolutionary pleasure circuit there for eating food, drinking water, having sex. We've got these ways to artificially activate it with a wide range of psychoactive compounds. And this occurs both in us and in critters. But in human brain evolution, a miracle has happened. And on a neuroanatomical basis, that miracle is that this pleasure circuit has become very heavily interconnected with higher brain regions, having to do with planning, motivation, social cognition, memory, emotion, and understanding the social motivations of others. And what does this mean behaviorally? It means that we humans can take pleasure from utterly arbitrary experiences that have no evolutionary value whatsoever. So let's talk about what I mean. So a mouse can take pleasure from having sex or eating food, and of course we can too. But only a human can take pleasure from fasting or abstaining from sex if they have a particular set of cultural, political, religious ideas that make that rewarding. In humans, because of this interconnection, mere ideas can become pleasurable. Mere ideas can become rewarding. So think of what gives depth to our human culture, right? Celebrity gossip. What goes it for you evolutionarily? Curling. Sport of curling. No evolutionary value whatsoever. We can take pleasure in these things, however, because our pleasure circuits that initially evolve for these very basic get your genes in the next generation regions have become so interconnected with these higher areas. The other thing that is important to know is that up till now I've mostly talked about devices. It turns out that there are a lot of prosocial behaviors that also can activate the brain's pleasure circuitry. For example, meditative practice, in some cases, can activate the brain's pleasure circuitry. Now, meditative practice is a bit of a vague word. So the world's leader on the neurobiology of meditation is a guy named Richie Davidson at the University of Wisconsin. And he says using the word meditation is about as precise as using the word sports. In the same sense that hockey is very different than basketball, actually loving kindness meditation is very different than a kind of focused meditation in the Zen tradition. So not all forms of meditation in all people activate the brain's pleasure circuitry, but some forms of meditation in some people do. Very importantly, we are very social critters. And so it turns out that if we were to have a breed scan and someone were to say, nice things about you, Jack's in the brain scanner. And Jack is hearing, oh, Jack, you are respected in your community. You're intelligent. You're good looking. You smell good. People like you. You're generous. Then this is a very strong activator of the medial forebrain pleasure circuit. We're very social beings. And so when people give to charity, part of the reward that they get is from being socially accomplished. People naturally like to be regarded well by their peers. But it turns out that if you do an experiment with anonymous charitable giving, and this was done by a fellow who has nothing to do with the Super Bowl, but whose name nonetheless is Harbaugh, at the University of Oregon. And he had people come to the lab, go in the brain scanner, monitor their brain's neophoric pleasure circuit, and they were given real money, and they had the chance to donate it to various real local charities. And they were told, and this was the truth, that these transactions would be coded by the computer, and that no human would know which to match which subject with which donation or lack of And even in that situation where the charitable giving was anonymous, there was still a strong activation of the euphoric pleasure circuit. Now, this has important implications, I think, for some of our religious and philosophical traditions. So, for example, both in the Western European Christian tradition and in the Buddhist tradition, there are ideas that if you were to be entirely altruistic, or if in the Buddhist tradition you are to ascend to be the next level of consciousness of Bodhisattva, that you should do good works and you should not feel, not only should you not be doing them to get the positive regard of others, but that you should not be deriving any pleasure from that action at all. And I guess what the brain imaging would say is that is probably not possible, that we are hardwired to take pleasure from the situation. Keep in mind, we spent most of our evolutionary history living in small hunter-gatherer bands. And so we have neural circuitry that says if we regard someone as being like us, we are rewarded for being generous towards them. In practical terms, I think go out in the world and do good works and be generous and be charitable. If you catch a pleasure buzz off that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about being able to stop. That will be fine. So, in terms of pro-social awards, seeing as we're here in this particular community, it's worthwhile, I think, talking about exercise. I think many of you have heard about the rewarding effects of exercise and probably have heard of this linked to a set of compounds called endorphins, which are the brain's natural morphine-like molecules. And indeed, about 25 years ago, experiments were done where they have folks run a marathon, and at the end, they would draw blood, and they found elevated levels of an endorphin called beta-endorphin in the blood of marathon runners. And they said, oh, well, that could explain some of this euphoria. Now, actually, it turns out, if you go and ask marathon runners at the end of a race, are you feeling euphoric? Only about 1 in 10 will say that they are. The rest will say, actually, I feel like I'm going to throw up. You know, I feel good that I did this, I feel a sense of accomplishment, but actually euphoric, not so much. And the endorphin, the endorphin story has a bit of a problem, because it turns out the beta-endorphin in the blood doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier, doesn't get into the brain. It can't be the substrate for reward. Now, it's entirely possible that these endorphins are also produced within the brain and the central nervous system and can be contributing to exercise-induced euphoria. And I should mention people often use the terms runner's high. There's nothing special about running, right? There's a swimmer's high, there's a cycler's high, there's a skier's high. Any form of sustained aerobic exercise can lead a small fraction of people to become euphoric. So is there another candidate? Well, it turns out that in addition to the brain having natural morphine-like molecules, the brain has natural cannabis-like molecules called endocannabinoids. And endocannabinoids are also elevated in, particularly after exercise, in those people who are reporting euphoria, and not very much in the people who are not reporting euphoria. And endocannabinoids, unlike beta-endorphins, freely cross the blood-brain barrier. And so, it's said yet, but these natural neuronal molecules are a good candidate for meeting this form of pro-social pleasure. So, the dark side of pleasure, of course, is addiction. And so let's talk